The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 25th day of June, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Linders. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Michaela Ian. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be joining us in a bit to bring us the latest in her news break. It's Friday. How are you both feeling today?
I'm
Awesome.
good.
Awesome.
Pretty here. She's all like, yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Nico.
It's too hot for me. So I'm like, look, this has to come up. It's hot. And when I get to this point, that's when I cut my hair. Okay. I always get to this point and I'm always like, cut it, get rid of it.
Well, Michaela, this is just the start of today. I'm sure it will be up. Yesterday it was, but this is just the start of the day.
I don't know if I don't know if I should say the joy or the challenges of being a woman in here. I don't know. I obviously you can see I don't have much.
It is a love-hate relationship. It is definitely a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
I'm loving it right now.
No, it's hot and humid, and just like yesterday, I felt hot, obviously, but there's been like a bit of a breeze. Yesterday,
disrespectful.
I was just like, you serious? Like, this is what we're doing? Okay.
Is that due to like humidity or something?
It was really humid and there was just no breeze.
Yes.
So it was like stifling.
See,
Don't act like you've been away that long, Jamal. I'm telling you, this disrespect is still real with humidity.
No, I can't relate because I don't have. I mean, look again. You see. But good morning, everyone, and thanks for making this part of your daily routine. A good one to end the traditional work week as we welcome MP Chris Famous back to the show. There's rules for this show. No spitting, no throwing stuff at people. Like we're gonna keep it mature over on these parts, right? The Daily Feud is number one answers only, so these ladies are aggressive and they are never wrong. So. You got to see how they come out swinging, folks.
Hello, Sherry. Did you see yesterday how he tried to throw me under the bus and ask the second question, thinking that I wasn't gonna get it?
Yeah, I did see that.
Jamal, right?
Come better, Jamal. Come on.
I lied to her as well. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell her the wrong answer, see if she just believes me, and she didn't go for it, Sherry.
That's my girl. My girl. See, we agree about some things, but these, two colors is where we divide just for a hot minute. But oh wait, hold on 1 sec. I just want everyone to really understand what kind of situation it is. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Carry on.
She just ruined the mood, didn't she, Kim?
We ain't. Sherry, do not choose chaos and violence.
Not on a Friday. We're heading into a good.
Listen, you guys have had 4 days of this St. George's, brainwashing stuff. I got to give a visual.
Whatever.
You know what? I think since we're on colors, Janae Pereira Edna, she actually says, morning, everyone has their own color on today. And crazy thing is, we don't discuss what we're wearing, folks. Honestly, don't. But I must say, Sherry did choose violence today, as and something told me because all week, right?
All week.
Those things. Something told me she was gonna come today, come and just start with the boxing gloves. She weren't going to come all nice and Martin Luther King. She was coming Muhammad Ali, and she did it.
Yeah, right, Sherry.
Yeah.
We see what's up. We see.
And the thing thank you, Terry. Yes, Michelle. Yes, that's Chrissy.
Thank you, Bobby.
Bobby just had to come and ruin it.
Hello.
Well, look, on the cup match note, we do have cup match president coming on. It looks like Monday. So it looks like Monday we'll have President Vashon Blanchett coming on from the Somerset Cricket Club. So should be an interesting conversation. Obviously, there were questions asked of the St. George's president yesterday that he could not answer. So we are looking forward to having him on, and hopefully he can answer some of those questions. We have a lot to get through, though. We have a carnival question. I forgot the giveaway last week. It was a carnival question asking of the three, was Michaela, Sherry, and Leanna, who has participated in carnival. Folks, all the questions are show related, so they've all participated. So the answer was D. If I'd have thrown myself or Larry in there, it may have been a problem, right? So the winner is Anika D. Shields. So she won last week's prize. So I believe she will be getting a mug and a $25 voucher to one of our sponsors. That could be Medical House Linders or People. So congratulations to Anika D. Shields. Better late than never. Now, I want to share with you guys, before we get to the topic of the day, I want to share a story with you because I don't usually take day naps. I'm not that guy. Like I sleep at night, right? So yesterday, late afternoon, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, I went to sleep. I was just so tired, right? Tired. And so I forgot that I was supposed to cook last night. So I woke up about 7:30 and, had a hungry household. So I said, I can cook now, whatever. No, can you just pick up some food? So I went out to pick up the food. And when I got there, I told them the order I was to pick up. And wife's name is Nikki, I'm Jamal. So I'm saying picking up for Nikki. Do you know, and first off, much love to Hook, all the delivery drivers out there. Much love to you all. This is not meant to be shit. Because I honestly, I love and I appreciate, and I'm an over tipper. But when I picked up the food, they put these stickers on the bag, the temper stickers. Like, not like if I open the bag, it says that it's been tempered. And then I realized, they think I'm the delivery driver.
Oh.
Thought I was and it's not the first time it's happened when I've gone somewhere, because I order from Tropical Smoothie and I go to pick up and they're like, oh, delivery's right here. And I'm like, do I have the look of a delivery driver or like, and I'm not offended by any chance, but it was just so funny. I bought it home. I showed them. And the funny thing is my mother-in-law laughed so loud and long. And I was just like, wow, she's really getting a kick out of this. Like they thought I was they put about 4 do not temper stickers on it. Like, so what happens, they do it with pizza boxes out here as well. Like they put this on, and if you can tell when you get it. So folks, I'm officially Jamal, the delivery driver.
I'm just so confused by that.
Yeah, like
Jamal, the delivery guy.
Yeah,
see that, that's so bizarre because on odd occasions I'll be in a shop and some woman, and it's usually an older white woman. This actually happened to me when I went to the spot, Tucker's Point. Like I'm just in the lobby waiting to be served, so I can go get my massage. This woman literally walks over to me and she's like, so what availability do you have today? Blah, blah, blah. I looked at her and said, do I look like I work here?
I know.
Do I look like it? Because I don't. Don't make that a sign. I can't, that honestly drives me crazy. Don't do that.
And that for me is shopping, having a lot of clothes or hangers in your hand, and someone says, can you tell me? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Can you tell me? Because I don't work here. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just like, yeah, I don't work here. No. I like to shop.
And the thing is, and again, we mean no disrespect to those who are in those positions. It is actually kind of strange. Like, I think we all just shared an experience where you're basically being mistaken for something. Instead of people just asking, are you here for delivery or pickup?
Yes.
Do you work here? Asking the first question, hi, do you work here? I mean, it's Yeah.
I don't know. And Jamal, sometimes I take offense to, do you work here? If I don't have Ross, TJ Maxx, I don't have a smock on, all of that, an earpiece that says, come to whatever. Like, don't ask me that either. Because, why are you assuming that I work here? I like to shop. That's why I have all of these hangers in my hand. I'm going to go purchase this. I don't like that either. Don't ask me.
I'm always offended by that.
Yeah.
I'm always offended. And the reason that I'm always offended is because it's always a white person who asks me this.
Yeah.
And I sit here and I'm like, don't try me today because I am not the one.
So can I share that when I first moved to Florida, I don't have a shopping problem. Let me just put that out there because there are rumors by some people I live with that I have a shopping problem. But I would go to the mall every day to walk around and just get lunch. And those of you who know, I park my car pretty far, go in the mall, whatever. I used to keep my headpiece in because I was that kind of person where when I'm out, I would still answer my phone for work. No lie. And Sawgrass Mall is a heavily populated mall with like South Americans that come to visit to shop. And the amount of times I would have my Bluetooth in, right, headset, and people would come up to me and say, "Hi, can you get me a size in this?" And I used, me, I'd be sensitive. I'd be like, I can't say what I'd say on but like, I have bosses, folks. I can't, but it wasn't pretty how I would respond. So I didn't want to share that, but honestly, you guys made me comfortable sharing it just now because it's the most annoying and disrespectful thing. And I'm just going to highlight what Michaela said. It's always the same people. It's usually, and I feel offended. Like, yo, this is no disrespect to the retail workers, and
none.
To be treat it like that, and we have a hater in the audience. I don't have a shopping problem. I don't.
Nick is like, look, I'm going to beg to prove it.
I don't have a shopping problem. But folks, let's move on. We have an important conversation real quickly before we bring in the MP for the day. MP Chris Famous, who will be joining us. So last year this time, there were marches going on, there were protests going on, there were all sorts of things taking place, corporations making statements. And so today, the height of what those movements were about, they were about more than just this, but this was the catalyst, right? The murder of George Floyd.
Yeah.
And today, the sentencing is supposed to happen for the convicted murderer of George Floyd, Derek Chauvin. And so I think it was kind of under the radar because I really caught it on Twitter last night. I didn't even see it on the news. Yeah. But here's what I want to get the opinion of, right? Because I don't know if you guys have read anything, but the AP, right? They're reporting that with a judge weighing a prison term, experts say he could receive as much as 30 years. But catch this. This is the one that's going to get you all. This the one that's going to get you all. I'm lost at this point. His defense attorney, Eric Nelson, Derek Chauvin's defense attorney, is asking for probation. Hold on.
Okay.
Get yourself together. No. He's asking for probation, saying that Mr. Chauvin, the convicted murderer of George Floyd, right, has no criminal record. He further says Chauvin used a neck/body restraints at least 7 times before. If that's your justification for this convicted murderer getting probation, man, throw the key away after you put him in that cell.
Yeah. Jamal, put your hand on the buzzer now. Put your hand. What the entire is they talking about in this type of and what? Okay,
listen. I'm not here to play devil's advocate, but I'm going to say this, and I say this having covered many murder trials, many high-profile murder trials. It is the job of the defense lawyer to advocate on behalf of their client. So I've literally seen cases where a man has brutally raped women. And the lawyer's like, he should get time served. He's learned his lesson. He has no previous convictions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So it sounds outrageous, but at the end of the day, that's what his lawyer's job is.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
I know, but it's like chaos and violence. You know what I mean? It's too much.
But he said, and he said it out loud. So what you know, and so words have meaning. Words, you know, go on to. So he said it out loud. So you've put that into the judge's or mind as to this. Oh, there is a possibility. Hopefully, the judge goes by what the letter of the law is, and despite all that, he's guilty.
Yeah. The thing is, guilty. I think the max is 30 years
40.
for this.
40.
Okay, so he's not going to get 40. He's not. You never get the max. So I'll just be interested to see how much the judge looks at, because he doesn't have previous convictions, but he does have previous issues.
Yes,
situations and record of violence where obviously he didn't learn his lesson. So I hope that they actually look at his past and his career and all the things that he has done that have been negative and led up to this, because it led up to it because he was never punished, right?
Exactly. So, and just audience, if you have any, what's your opinion? I want to see what are your thoughts on the case? I guess the question should be, do you think he is going to get the time that many people think he deserves, which is a long sentence, or do you think the judge will be lenient? And I think we don't have to look back too far. I think it was Amber Geiger in Texas who murdered the young man from St. Louis.
Both of them John.
Yeah, both of them John, and she only received 10 years, right? Now that was her sentence, and I think she's in the process of appealing. So what are your thoughts on the sentence today? Do you think that justice will be served in respect to a sentence or accountability? What are your thoughts, Sherry? I think you wanted to say something.
I do. Is the reason, well, because what did he get charged with? Was it second-degree murder or something like? What do you remember?
It was manslaughter.
No,
okay.
Quite a few. I'll bring it up.
No, but it was like 6 or 8 of them. But the thing is, the problem I have is like life is not part of that, and possibly because it wasn't seen as gruesome. However, the image is still in my mind of what he did.
To answer your question, he was convicted of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter for pressing his knee on George Floyd's neck. However, this is the key part in everything. Under Minnesota statutes, Chauvin will be sentenced only on the most serious charge of second-degree murder.
Oh, not a combination.
Correct.
Well, this is the thing, because in Bermuda, it's similar in that, just say you are up for, I don't know, murder, possession of a gun, and armed robbery. Just say those are your 3 charges. So you break into someone's house with the gun and you kill them. So it's 3 separate charges. Each one would carry a sentence, but you're going to do the maximum. So like if the murder is 35 years, then that's what you're going to get. The others would run concurrent. So they just kind of like put them together. It wouldn't be 35 years plus 10 for the gun plus 10 for the armed robbery.
But it's 35 per victim then. That's where
No.
So if it was 2 people that happened to, when you wouldn't receive a sentence on like
you would get a sentence. So just say someone broke in Bermuda law, just say someone broke into a house with a gun, so armed robbery, possession of a gun, and they kill a husband and wife. So it's 4 charges because it's 2 people plus the gun plus the armed robbery. So just say you get 30 years per person. It wouldn't be 60 years.
Yeah, guys, we have to move on. We do have.
Thank you, Michaela.
But it's so refreshing having someone who's been in a courtroom. I mean, I've been there, but not on. As a reporter, I mean, she's been there. I mean, I didn't have. You guys have probably been in there for something before as well. So don't act like I'm the only one in here that breaks a law or 2. Anyway, let's bring Leanna in. We have MP Famous coming in the house, and looking forward to that convo. I'm excited. Lee.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am great. How's everyone this morning?
Well, Sherry came in here bringing this violence and this.
I was just going to bypass that. I didn't even want to acknowledge what I had seen backstage while waiting. But you know what? 4 days. She said she's had 4 days of having to listen to our St. George's banter. So I guess in this instance, Sherry, yeah.
I remember my birthday was Monday and it was a holiday, so I am allowed this moment.
As we will say, lower.
I can't wait till Monday when President Blunt comes on. And
I can't wait for that conversation. Sherry, I hope you're in the comments.
I need to be on the show.
Yeah, we'll rough him up. Don't worry. Carla John says, I think he should get 25 years. Speaking about Derek Chauvin, I think he should get life, but that's not going to happen. Chris Trouble said if he's white, it could be anything from a short sentence to letting him walk. And this is it's been proven. Recent history has been proven. Lee, we're gonna turn it over to you to take it to some local news, and then after Liana's done, we'll have the daily focus of MP Famous. And don't stick with us. We have that exciting daily play from these competitive ladies here, and we're gonna do a little giveaway, send you off on your weekend with something. Over to you, Lee.
Thanks, Jamal, Michaela, and Sherry, and TGIF to everyone tuned in with us this morning. I hope everyone is ready for the upcoming weekend. I'm Liana Lambert, and it's time for our daily hour news break. Now, in today's top stories, a Sands man is fighting for his life after being attacked by a group of men in the early hours of Monday morning. The 33-year-old victim was attacked while walking in the area of Scotts Hill Road and Cricket Lane at about 1:30 a.m. Now, police have confirmed that the victim was in the hospital's intensive care unit suffering life-threatening injuries. The victim was able to escape after an acquaintance arrived on the scene in a car. Now, initially, police had reported that the victim was suspected to be in a car accident that overturned. However, now they tell us that is not the case, but that the majority of his injuries are as a direct result of being assaulted. Police say that this was too early to say if it was gang-related or if firearms were involved. They are, however, appealing to witnesses to the incident, and they are hoping that people can assist with their investigation. Bermuda will officially be placed on the UK's green travel list at the end of this month. The British government announced the change in status yesterday, which is said to come into effect on Wednesday, June 30th. Now, this will mean that travelers to the UK from Bermuda will no longer have to quarantine for 10 days on arrival. Under the UK's Green Code status, travelers from Bermuda to the UK, age 5 or older, must take a COVID-19 test on or before day 2 after their arrival. Travelers will have to quarantine if NHF tests and trace informs them that they have traveled to England with someone who had tested positive for COVID-19. Now, Bermuda was one of 16 countries that will be moved from the amber list to green. Premier David Burt welcomed the news last night and praised health department staff who have worked tirelessly to help reduce the number of positive cases in Bermuda. In other news, Labor Minister Jason Hayward last night accused electricity provider Balco of negligence for failing to tackle soot fallouts from its plant. Now, the MP for Pembroke Central said that he was concerned for the safety and well-being of his constituents as a result of the ongoing problem of pollution, which was created by Balco's smokestacks. Mr. Hayward spoke out last night after Balco said it was working with members with the community in the wake of the fallout of soot from the North Power Station on Monday morning. He criticized the company, which is headed up by fellow Progressive Labour Party MP Wayne Keynes, for having a disregard for the community and showing a lack of urgency. Now, area residents have repeatedly voiced concerns about pollution emanating from the North Power Station, which began operation last year. Mr. Hayward dismissed reassurances from Balco that the problem was being addressed and said to date that the problem still remains. And the Bermuda Football Association have officially announced the traveling squad for the upcoming CONCACAF Gold Cup preliminary round. The 23-player squad will travel to Florida tomorrow for a training match prior to their preliminary round match. Now, Bermuda is expected to play Barbados next Friday, July 2nd at 8 p.m. at the DRV PNK Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The game will be shown on a variety of stations such as Fox Sports 2 and Fubo TV, as well as Sing Blue and Hulu for those in the U.S. audiences. Extended coverage of the match will be given over BFA social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, and the BFA website. Looking at today's weather, we have a high near 83 and a low near 75 degrees. Clouds tend to thicken with a chance for a shower or two. The ridge of high pressure remains to our north, maintaining an easterly breeze that will become strong at times today, especially should be about robust shoreward dampening us. Now the pattern shifts towards Sunday as the ridge reasserts over us, suppressing some shower activity, leading to increased sunshine. That's all for our Daily Hour news break. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Let's head back to Jamal, Michaela, and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
Lee, I just want to say, you mentioned where the game's going to be happening, right? You said on Hulu and all these places, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to brag and say, some of us are going to be present in the stadium. And so,
Wow.
My gosh.
I tell you.
Oh my goodness, just rubbing it in this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. But Lee, thank you so much.
Violet to Leanna. Come on.
Like, I'm a member of the team. We don't do this to each other.
I just want to throw some, But look, Lee, thanks so much for that. Have a great weekend, and I'm sure you'll be bringing us some more good news in the break next week as well.
Of course. Have a good weekend, guys.
Bye, Lee.
Bye.
All right, stick with us, folks. We'll be right back with MP Famous. Woo-hoo. Here we go.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
John Barrett & Son, Bermuda's favorite distributor of fine beverages, has brought us a new and refreshing thirst quencher just in time for the approaching warm weather. Hint Water in 7 luscious flavors. Hint Water is slaking the thirst of active people who need pure hydration, low on the glycemic index, and want the kind of taste experience that keeps them coming back to try the next flavor. For those who've been giving water a miss, Hint may win you over. Hint Water. No sugar, no additives, all flavor. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And just like that, welcome back to the Big Show. Michaela and Sherry Vanderpool, myself, Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Windows, and our friends over at Channel 82, where you can watch this and many other locally produced shows with Bermudians by Bermudians. Without further ado, it's time to bring in our guest for the day, the People's MP, they call him.
Let's go.
Yeah, Mr. Christopher Famous. Welcome to the show, sir.
Sorry. Good morning.
Don't act like that guy on the what that gentleman, is it Owen Barnes Johnston Barnes on the government press conference, man? Don't be that guy today.
Well, good morning, ladies.
Good morning,
Mr. Famous.
And good morning, Bermuda. Well, you see, I have a double challenge here. Because, like you, I'm very melanin rich. I have to be kind of close to the light in order for you to see me. But the closer I get to the light, it cuts off part of my hair. So work with me,
You know what, brother? You know what? If people only knew the amount of lights I have around me right now.
Listen.
That I
I was getting worried. I thought you started bleaching or something. I don't know.
No, sir. What they no cake soap here? That's what they call it, right? No cake soap. Look, obviously, before we get into it, even if we don't like your politics, we like you because you're a St. George's fan. At least two of us do.
You see the colors?
Yes.
You see the colors, bro? You see the colors?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. At least
I'm gonna turn my camera off.
So look, let's get to the combo. So you've been elected coming up on 4 years. What's been the most challenging part of being an MP thus far?
Trying to explain to people the processes that we have to do as a government, not just as a party, but as a government. Some of the mechanics of things. So, example, during the lockdown last year, a lot of people were not working. So we had to explain and put things in place of the unemployment benefits. So a lot of people like, hey, famous, I ain't got my money yet. And I got to make a call and I got to do this and got to explain that they didn't actually put in where they work. You can't just sign up your name. So it's that the challenge is the challenge and reward of being able to explain to our people the processes of how the government works and more importantly, how it works for the people.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is your main role as a backbencher?
Take a lot of hits on Facebook. No, a backbencher's role is I'll simplify it. The backbencher's role is to assist ministers in their respective ministries. Your most important role is to represent the people that elected you. So that, for example, you have Kim Swan and Jamal has Mike Weeks. So your MPs are supposed to be the ones that you are your go-to person, your intermediary, and also they also have to be the one that to some extent has to take a hit for the government, because you are representing not just the people but the party that you were elected on, unless you're an independent MP, which we don't have. You have to be both.
That's really interesting. I like that description because I see that you're very active in your constituency. And my MP, Kim Swan, is also very active. So I like how you explain that. So can you tell us, do you feel that you have a responsibility to educate the public on the facts or push the government/party's narrative?
I would say the former, because this is Bermuda, right? The facts will always come out. It may come out tomorrow, it may come out 20 years from now, but the facts will always come out. And they'll say, Michaela, I remember when you wrote such and such and such on WhatsApp, and that wasn't true. So fortunately, 9 out of 10, 19 out of 10, 99 out of 100 times, the facts and the government agendas sync, right? So it's not an impossible job to do both.
But do you feel like that's the focus, though? Because sometimes it seems as though there's one thing that the government wants to push, when in reality that might not actually be true.
Okay, so again, let's go back to the fact before things become public. 99% of the time before things become public, we have what's called our caucus meeting, where the MPs and the ministers meet every Wednesday for 3, 4, 5 hours, and we speak about government agendas, government legislation, government policy changes. And if you know anything about Black people, right, 35 Black people in a room do not always agree. 35 Black people in a room with strong Black women will voice their opinion and we'll hash out differences. Now, does it always turn out that the backbench has a more of a say than the cabinet? No, not all the time, because sometimes when you present rational things which may be politically unpopular, you as the MP have to say, well, we're going to take a hit for this, but I'm going to have to defend it. But you have to, first of all, you have to understand it yourself, because if you can't understand it, it's impossible for you to explain it to the masses, right? And I don't say masses in a derogatory term.
Right. Okay. No, I like that description that you gave us. So when you talk about you've been a backbencher for the past 4 years, people see you very active in your community and you post a lot on Facebook. Do you hope to be a minister one day? If so, what ministry would you love?
I was asked this question in October, my first interview on this esteemed online platform. And I honestly don't have a desire to be quote unquote a minister at this point in my life because number one, I have a full-time job at Belco. Yes, the same Belco that you all was talking about a little while ago. And I'm nearing the retirement age, and I don't see myself giving up that job, being a minister, then losing the election and going back to Belco, and they'll be like, oh no, bro, you can't come back. But more importantly, what I find, and it's unfortunate that when persons are ministers, they're so absorbed with the ministries that it takes 20 hours of the day. I'm exaggerating, but it takes 80% of the time to deal with the ministry, that they tend to not have enough time and or energy for the constituency. And what I found in Bermuda, anyone can attest to this, that anyone with a minister can attest to that, that very rarely do they see the minister, not because the minister wants to neglect them, but the minister's so caught up with COVID, they're so caught up with shootings, they're so caught up with trying to get airlift into the island, that they have very little time to deal with constituency issues. If I were to show people my WhatsApp, they would be very surprised the amount of my constituents and other people's constituents that contact me daily. And for me, the joy is able to service this person's concerns. I'm going to interact with ministers. I'm going to interact with civil servants. And all. Yesterday was partying on Changate Hill. 2 days earlier was a lady who, a gentleman whose daughter needs to quarantine, but she qualifies for exemption. So, it's all these type of things. So that in itself is a ministry. I might not get paid as a minister, but I get satisfaction of knowing that our Bermudian people are being assisted, right?
Yeah.
Well, the people.
It's definitely for the people. Talking about getting caught up on COVID, what are your thoughts on COVID and all the regulations that have been put in place by government?
Okay, so let's start from 2020. Myself and Deputy Premier Walter Urban were in Barbados for a CARICOM conference in February 2020, and we were briefed by CARFA, which is Caribbean Public Health. And they said, listen, COVID is coming. There's no way to stop it, and we're basically going to have to lock down the whole Caribbean. Well, everybody's looking at each other like, what is this? What is it? So the point I'm getting at is that COVID has been a challenging situation. We've seen, unfortunately, in Bermuda, we've seen 33 persons pass away. We all know someone who has had COVID, whether it's been mild or not so mild. We've seen businesses shut down. We've seen our people out of work. As MP, we have to comfort those who have lost loved ones. We have to ensure that those who are unemployed are getting the benefits, and we have to help assist businesses that are shut. So I say all that to say is we've seen the worst of COVID. Of all the overseas territories, we have the dubious record of having 33 deaths. And I don't see that lightly because other countries have 1, 2, 3, maybe. We've seen what happens when COVID gets out of control. We've seen businesses as early as this year have to shut down again and again and again. My wife has a salon. That salon has had maybe 8 months of work for the last year. And I don't say this lightly. I say that because whilst people are rightfully, don't get me wrong, rightfully upset about rule after rule after rule, we always have to say, okay, this is what happens when we don't have regulations. And ask yourself, do you want your granny to pass away? Do you want your neighbor to pass away? Do you want your cousin to be out of work for the next 5 months, because that is the precipice we are on as a country. I'm actually off the island right now to attend a funeral, and a neighboring country has had to shut down for 14 days because one person came in. Unbeknownst to that person, they had COVID, and they caused community spread. And within 1 week, 3 persons have died.
Yes.
Wow. With that being said,
I'm not trying to paint a bare picture. I'm just saying that what's being done, unfortunately, is necessary. I mean, there may be some degrees of how necessary is necessary, but the overall reason why things are being done is in the best interest of the people of this country, of our country.
Okay.
Absolutely. And just piggyback on that, do you feel that opening up the country is beneficial, or should we have waited just a little bit longer?
Everything, from what I understand, everything is done by data, right? So the data, once we saw the reproduction rate go down, once we saw the number of positive persons go down, then it became safe to open back up the country. And we also have to look at, this is a balance, right? Just like Jamal, there's a balance, St. George's, Somerset, 2 St. George's, 1 Somerset, right? There's a balance, right? Because
balance here.
if you look at Cayman Islands has a similar size population as us, but they have been locked down ever since March of 2020. The difference is that Cayman Islands has cash reserves to pay people every month, $1,500 every month. But in the meantime, businesses have gone out of business altogether. 3,000 guest workers have left the island. So there's a balance when you have a complete lockdown, what's going to cause. So for us, we had a complete lockdown last year, and we had a partial lockdown this year. And in each case, it's cost individuals thousands of dollars in income. It's cost the government almost $1 million a day in paying out in lost revenue, and paying out unemployment benefits, and paying out money to businesses. So where's the balance? Once you start to see those health numbers come down, it's time to open back up the economy slowly but surely. So that's there's no playbook for us, right? So we may get some things not totally correct, but the intent is always in the best interest of the people of Bermuda, and this means all people, no matter if you voted for us or not. And even those that say they're never going to vote for us again, the intent is to keep your life and our economy strong.
I don't want to
strong as possible.
I don't want to get stuck on something you said that I think has led to a lot of the discourse, I guess, the anger. But you stated just now, and please believe people are going to get this clip. You just stated that what you do is based on the data. And obviously there are people that are saying, okay, well, what is it? Data or science, right? So I just, I think
scientific data.
Well, yeah, honestly, and that's why I'm bringing it up. Words and language, how they're taken right now. Like, one of the things I find interesting, because I don't choose a side in this. I think is literally should be up to the individuals. Do what they believe is best for their family and friends. Whether everyone's that responsible or whatnot, that's neither here or there for me. But that said, I think we are a very picky and choosy society. We pick and choose what's beneficial for our argument on the day. I'll give you a perfect example that I've heard nobody talking about. This is not FDA, whatever.
Approved, yeah.
And I'm like, since when did you all trust the FDA? It's crazy to me. So I mean, I don't want to get too much onto that, but I just want to say to you, when you said that, please know that words and language, and we're human. I do it every day, right? But words and language it's like we're living in an era where we cannot make mistakes in what we say, because people will come back and say, no, but MP Famous said it's data on the Daily Hour and so on. But I want to move on because we're going to turn the heat up here. It's the kitchen.
Wow. You turned the heat up? I'm shocked.
Yeah. I'm on the grill today. I missed dinner last night, so I'm on the grill today. So look, Premier David Burke has been under immense scrutiny from the public as of late. Right? What would you say in your position as a backbencher of his government, what would you say to those who believe he's lost touch with the people, the very people who believe you are the minister for the people?
This is what I would say, that anyone who's premier at this time is going to be accused of all forms of, in some people's eyes, all forms of evil, right? I am in regular contact with MPs around the Caribbean, and every premier, from Andrew Hilness in Jamaica, Premier Rowley in Trinidad, which is shut down due to COVID, Honorable Mia Motley in Barbados, every prime minister, every leader is being accused of, shouldn't say by everyone, by a certain percentage of the public, of being a puppet for Bill Gates. They're treating one set different from the other. They're doing this. And the unfortunate part is that as a leader in this time, you can't shirk your responsibilities. You can't, let's say we had COVID. We do have COVID, and we had access to vaccines, and we said, you know, we have these vaccines, but we shouldn't give it to them because there's a percentage of Bermudians who are anti-vax, and they'll get upset with us. So let's hold back this vaccine, and you know, if people die, we'll just say, well, they were old anyway, and let's just let nature take its course. I guarantee you, people would have been marching on us before last Tuesday.
Okay. Fair enough. But I want a more direct response, and I'm going to ask you in a different way.
Okay. Come on, Royal Gazette.
The premier, I guess that's a compliment in some respects.
they like to ask same question 5 times.
No, I'll ask it a different way. I think the premier, as I stated, has come under intense scrutiny. Now, I think it would be disingenuous to act as if this just has anything to do with COVID. The premier, to some, has been a dictatorial leader, right? People have provided numerous examples of that. So my question, as the MP that people see as the people's MP, the one that is always out there amongst the people, do you feel, yes or no, really, do you feel that beyond COVID, this premier in this time has lost touch with the people of Bermuda and his base?
I could say categorically no. And why I say that? I am in touch with the premier every day, and we talk frankly, right? And a lot of times what happens is that everybody has their own style. Let's say I was premier tomorrow, right? I will be doing the exact same thing, and people will say, oh, Famous has done lost the plot. So when you're in certain positions, it's all about communication to some extent, right? And the premier has his way of communicating with people, which some people see as dry humor, some people see as arrogance, and it's all in how interpreted. But I can say categorically, just as much as I touch base with you, Jamal, right? I consider the premier as a friend of mine, right? I don't say that as a political friend or ally, as a friend. And trust me, I can't say certain words on here, obviously. There's times that I'm texting like, yo, bro, what up? And you're like, oh, this was supposed to, this release was supposed to go yesterday. I'm like, yeah, but I'm a backbencher. I didn't even know about this here. And now I'm taking all this licks on Facebook. Not just, the licks is irrelevant. But the point is, as a backbencher, we're supposed to know things before it's in the news, right? So I'm saying, yo, what's this shaggy crapper like, right? You know what I want to say, but what's this shaggy thing? He's like, oh, that was approved by such and such. I'm like, well, why we didn't know? Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, so I get why people are angry, and I get why people use the words arrogance, out of touch, so on and so forth. And dictatorial. But whoever I could tell you, Jamal, or let's take it out of Jamal. Michaela, if you were premier today, they would say Michaela's a dictator because she is not allowing my child to do this. Michaela is not allowed.
No, they would never say I'm a dictator, because I would never put myself in a position where anyone would view me as a dictator. Never.
But hold on, see, but you're dealing with circumstances beyond your control. There's not one premier that, well, I shouldn't say not one. There's very few present leaders that signed up to be leader of a country that they had a clause that said, oh, by the way, in 2020 there's going to be COVID and your people are going to turn against you.
Of course not. The thing about it is we have to remember that perception is reality. Like that.
Right. So this is what I would say in objectivity. Every leader, every captain of a ship has to know how to adjust the sails accordingly.
Indeed.
Right? If the wind coming from the west, you do your sails that way. If your wind's coming from the east, you trim your sail. So I have no doubt that in due time the premier or whoever will be premier knows how to adjust the sails, right? That's just leadership, right? And you have to be able to take the good with the bad. You have to take more bad than good, actually, to be leader.
All right.
In order to get this...
I just want to get some questions from the audience. We're running out of time. Just want to get some questions from the audience. Rick Olson's asking, do you support the quarantine restrictions on the unvaccinated? And he goes on to ask, longtime PLP stalwart MP Burgess thinks the quarantine policy is wrong. Is he right?
Okay, that's a double entendre, but MP Burgess has his own opinion of vaccines, right? So that's going to do that thing. As I said, we have seen worst case scenarios, and when home quarantine was allowed, we have encountered worst case scenario. Is there a different way to do it? We're exploring possibly different ways. We're exploring possibly different financial arrangements. Yes, but at this point in time, unfortunately, we have to go that route because other countries are actually going that route. Barbados is quarantining their own citizens come in. They have to quarantine. The only difference is that the Barbados government is picking up the tab, which basically means the taxpayer is going to pay for it next year.
Okay.
Or in following years.
Question from Tamara Richardson. Does MP Famous feel that the current communication, rollout, and subsequent confusion around travel and quarantine regulations changes have been handled well? I don't want to answer that for you. Based on him not knowing about Shaggy, I'm going to say the communication is probably, well, in his words, crap. Go ahead.
Well, I wouldn't use the word crap. Let's just say it must be improved. I wouldn't say can be, it must be improved. Okay. Yeah. There are things that, especially things that are so sensitive of my child's got a quarantine or my mom's got a quarantine, or how do I go about doing this? Or I'm trying to call the hotline, I can't get through, and I'm getting on the website. I sent in emails and I haven't got a reply. That has to be improved. Like if you were calling Greyhound or American Airlines, you can't get through, then you just call another airline. But you have no other government to call right now, right?
Yeah. Dijon Simmons is asking, leaders also take accountability if the ship hits a reef here and there, or is it the wind from the west or east fault? Now, before you answer that, I want to jump in because I don't think, I could be wrong, but I'm going to use the premier and the health minister. The health minister, and we've shared on this show, has made statements that she hasn't retracted, but they've proven that she's wrong. And a responsible and accountable person, not politician, would say, you know what, I misspoke. It's happened twice, right? And recently, when she said Bermudians won't be allowed, and then the fiasco with your colleague, Mr. Kim Swan, and now, oh, no Bermudian will be denied. So to Dijon's question, what role does accountability play? I mean, we have to be accountable for our actions, or does that not fall in place for the premier and ministers?
You're asking a little question. Yes, if you are elected member of the parliament, you are accountable to the people, right? You need to clear up misconceptions. You need to say, okay, this is the premier did say in parliament last week that Bermudians will not be denied entry. So I can't speak for any minister.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to the ethos of if something incorrect was said, it needs to be correct.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate that you say that because it just hasn't happened. And the thing about it is, when Minister Wilson said this, Trevor Lindsay pushed her on it, and she said, I said Bermudians who do not book the 14-day mandatory quarantine if you're unvaccinated will be denied entry into the country. I said that earlier.
Yeah.
And then we have the premier
I was sent the clip 20
the airline.
times.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, again, bringing you on, you're a backbencher, right? And you were very transparent earlier, which I really appreciate in terms of, you know, why you wouldn't accept the ministry and so on. And I appreciate that, because the transparency there is what people want from ministers. That's what we want from cabinet. And so because you stated earlier that you feel like ministers sometimes don't have the time to meet with their constituents, but yet you do, we feel like people like yourself are the vehicles to them. And so I want to give you a message on behalf of the people, at least the ones who are involved in this show. And when I say the family, I mean the audience. Please give this message to Brother Premier, who will be on in a few weeks, and the minister who avoids, as far as I know, going in spaces that she's not in control of, Kim Wilson. Please tell them, cut the B seriously, because it's very unfortunate to have someone like you who is out there amongst the people, and you have to be put in these positions where they're making it so difficult.
Yeah,
we must evolve as people. So as leaders, they have to say, you know what, I got it wrong. Let the people know. And we're going to work on making this right. Because if this was the One Bermuda Alliance, it would have been a parade every week. And you know this. Go ahead, Sherry.
But I was going to say transparency and being open leads you to seeing human and being able to be relatable. And we love that about anybody who can say, I stand corrected for what I said. I tend to believe in you moving forward and what it is that I can stand behind. And leaders like, you know, he makes mistakes, whatever, but he has corrected them, or she has corrected him, or has made a statement to say otherwise. It's when you go ahead and do all of this stuff, and then we're left here to say, like, do we believe you?
Exactly. And that's the thing about it. No one's going to call a leader a dictator or arrogant if they're willing to put their hand up and say, I messed up, I got that wrong. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
And I think I think sometimes when you even first of all, thank you all for your words. I think sometimes even when you say, okay, all right, I got it wrong, people say, I don't believe. It's just being too flippant about it. So you're in a no-win situation. And often what I find with ministers, and this is generic, a lot of ministers are taking direction from, or shouldn't say total direction, but take advice on some issues from their technical director or the PS or whatever. And you're saying, bruh, you're sitting in court and you're saying, really? You didn't question the PS when they said that? And that don't even sound logical. Well, that's the knowledge I have. No. And then you got to actually do the research for them and show them like your PS got it wrong, bro. So you know, it's a host of things. As I said, I can't answer for anyone. I'm just speaking to the ethos that leadership demands humility. It's all right.
We have to cut out. Honestly, if I had a favorite MP, it would definitely be the person who's the easiest to communicate with. You all know I don't like politicians, but I'm always got time for Brother Famous at this point in my life. He is a person who is always going to have the conversation. May not give you the answers we want, may not even have the discussion we want, but the openness and the transparency that we get from you is definitely appreciated. So we have to run, but we will definitely be in touch. And please know that we appreciate you for what you do.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Sharon has enjoyed just call us. All right. I'll do the commercial afterwards. We're gonna do the Daily Play. If you enjoyed that conversation with MP Famous, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. And we're gonna do the Daily Play real quickly because I wanna get this out. We'll do the giveaway last. We'll do the giveaway last. Don't worry about that. You guys ready for the Daily Play?
Well, you see, I set up, right? I'm ready.
Right. Let's do it. Let's have some fun before we break it down. All right. It's number one answers only. Audience, you can participate. They need your help. Name a major decision the whole family should participate in making.
Buying a house?
Not even on here.
Major decision.
Getting a dog. Getting a dog.
Nope. Question is, folks, name a major decision the whole family should participate in making.
Funeral arrangements.
What'd you say, Michaela?
A car?
Number one answer right here. Amanda Kelly.
Oh, vacation.
Vacation number one, moving number two, dinner number three.
He is taking just look at the pleasure.
Wow.
A lot of people got vacation.
Missed that today.
Some people. All right. Second one. Name something on which you'd hate to see an out of order sign.
The bathroom.
Bathroom.
Wow, they got that. Yeah. Bathroom number one, ATM number two, payphone number three, stamp machine number four. All right, final one. This is going to stump them. This is going to stump them. Name a professional sports team named after a bird.
Hawks.
Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles was number one, Cardinals number two, Blue Jays 3, Ravens 4, Falcons 5, Hawks 6. So you guys, you recovered. You recovered. Kales, you got any inspiration for us before we take a commercial break?
I sure do. Of course, now my phone wants to be silly. Here we go. Never bend your head. Always hold it high. Look the world straight in the eye. That's from Helen Keller.
Poetic.
I love that.
Poetic. So look, Kales is going to drop off. Sharon is going to stick with you to do the giveaway. The hashtag for today, folks, is the Daily Hour. So we're going to do a giveaway. You can start hashtagging. I know. Oh, you know what? Actually, I have to go back and put the hashtag in. Kales, any final words before you go on today's show?
Have a great weekend, guys. That's it. Like, let's live it up. Yes. Enjoy the good weather. Follow the COVID restrictions so that we don't go back into, the not fun times.
Yes.
All righty. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to do today's giveaway. Stick with us.
Tune in to the Full 100 Radio every Tuesday through Sunday at 7 p.m. Bermuda time as we bring you the love, romance, sexiness with nighttime jams only on your station for conversations and entertainment. The Full 100 Radio. Download the app available for Android and Apple devices.
All right. Thanks again to MP Chris Famous for coming on the show and for the conversation. A quick story real quickly. So, Sherry, you want to tell them about the story? I just thought of it.
Which story?
Well,
how I met Mr. Famous?
Yeah, and how we got together and how you ended up here.
Well, I actually have like a hustle and I drive taxi. And some years ago, I actually picked up Miss Famous from the airport and we was talking about me being on the radio and doing things, a passion. And he was like, well, you need to hit up Jamal Hartman. I'm like, I thought about that. And he actually gave me Jamal's number like years ago. And I didn't call. I kept hesitating. And so I do still credit him for putting it out there in the atmosphere and laying that seed for me to now here I am.
I honestly think it's a beautiful story because I just thought of it just now. I'm like, hold on. But and I say that because, that's the human side of the politician, right?
Yes.
Just saying, hey, I'm not anybody, but it's like maybe they could do some things together and so on. So those are the kind of things that human beings do. We look out for each other.
And he was very warm and like, oh, here's this contact. Just, reach out. And this would have been at the beginning of your radio show period, not even the Daily Hour. You know what I mean? So so it was I was very happy when this all came about and told Jamal about this story.
All right, let's get to the giveaway. All right, folks, let's see what we got for you. I know a lot of you have hit it, but it is only showing 23. But we're going to hit the draw because we are out of time. Let's see who it's going to today.
Come on, big money.
What you got? Let's see. I see Phil Trott in there. Selena. Again. You're gonna have to share your gifts, Karen. I mean, you won yesterday the Heineken case, and now you've won a mug. So
And I know Karen personally, I know she's doing a happy dance wherever she is. Oh, congratulations, Karen.
We love it. We love it. Any final thoughts on today's episode, Sherry?
Transparency and openness is what the people want and what the people need, and stand corrected whenever possible, so that we understand that we all make mistakes, you know. So and you know, Mr. Famous, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. I'd say, Mr. Famous, keep doing what you're doing, but do it better. Always room to grow and improve. And I would say, you know, if you can encourage and inspire others around you, especially those in cabinet, to be more transparent and be open to receiving the criticism and being accountable for their actions, I think the people would appreciate it and it would go a long way. Don't forget, we will have the president of Somerset on Monday. Also, the premier has agreed he'll be coming on a year to the day that he came on last year. So thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, and Linda's, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we will be back to do this with you again on Monday. My friends, have a great weekend. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. Make it the safest and greatest day of your life. Peace.